Hi guys, it's Xanderfaulk here, back with this first video of 2013, and I know I've been away. It's been a long time since I've done a video, and this is mainly due to work, life, college commitments, and just general laziness, because I've always, ever since my last couple of videos and reviews, I've always tried to do a review, and I've always got halfway through doing it, even to the point of actually filming it and halfway through editing the review when I'm not happy with it or I don't want to upload it, so I'll delete it and then I'll try and start again. And so hopefully now I can with my found footage collection part 3. The first one is Grave Encounters. Every found footage fan should have this film. It's like Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity on steroids. It's almost a parody on all of the ghost hunting shows, especially Ghost Adventures with its very own rip-off Zach Bagans. I've done a review on this, so if you want to see what I thought about this film, I suggest you check that out. The sequel to this is also out as well, and I think that is also fantastic, and I still need to get that on Blu-ray. The final Blu-ray I have is the extended edition of Chronicle, a different found footage superhero movie that's not exactly a horror one, and it follows a bunch of kids as they discover a mysterious artifact that grants them powers. And while the movie does have its fair share of cool, awesome special effects and stunts, the movie tends to focus on the character development, their stories, and just the ultimate downfall of all of them. And now I get onto one I bought recently, one that's quite interesting. It is the Paranormal Entity quadrilogy. Now, there's a company out there called The Asylum. They like to make mockbusters and rip off other successful movies. Like if Transformers came out, they do Transmorphers. If Cloverfield came out, they did one called Monster, which was awful. But it wasn't until they did their mockbuster rip-off of Paranormal Activity did The Asylum really start to find their talent in a way. Their first one, Paranormal Entity, proved to be very popular, and it wasn't too bad of a low-budget found footage movie. It was very minimalist, but it still managed to be very creepy and unnerving, so much in a way that some people actually prefer Paranormal Entity to the Paranormal Activity series. I've done a couple of other ones, like they tried to do like a Predator Prometheus ripoff called Alien Origin, which absolutely sucked. So if you want to see some of the Asylum's better works, stick to the quadrilogy. Also, the Amityville Haunting was really bad as well. That was another Asylum one. This is a mockbuster of Paranormal Activity. It wasn't too bad, pretty much the same story. Paranormal Entity 2 is when they go into the house of Gacy and try and contact a spirit. That's the most original one. I actually can't think of the movie this was trying to knock off. And Paranormal Entity 3, The Exorcist tapes. This was, of course, a rip-off of The Last Exorcism. This is the weakest of the Paranormal Entities. I actually don't like this. I was planning on just getting these for a trilogy, but this was on a very low Christmas deal, so I thought, what the heck. And then you've got Paranormal Activity 4, The Awakening. This was called Ghost Street, The Return of Richard Speck in America, and this is their version of Grave Encounters, and it's actually the best Paranormal Entity entry. I think it's actually my favourite Asylum found footage one. It's a very good, on its own it's a very good movie for Asylum, and it's actually not a bad mockbuster rip-off of Grave Encounters either, so I suggest you check that out. Be ashamed for this, but it is the American remake of Reca Quarantine. I actually watched this one first and enjoyed it, and if it wasn't for this movie I would never have watched Rec and realised how awesome it was. And I actually think Quarantine, it's directed by the people that did the Poughkeepsie tapes, a very disturbing and realistic found footage movie about a serial killer. But this one was quite good, and yes, it's more glossier, sleek, and it does have an American twist on what's going on in the Rec series, and some people don't like this. It's not as good, it's not as raw and as visceral as Rec. It feels more staged, but I still enjoy it nonetheless. I enjoy Jennifer Carpenter's performance, and they do some cool action set pieces in this that the first one didn't do. The next one is the Asylum tapes. This is also known as Greystone Park in the US. Now this is directed by Oliver Stone's son, Sean Stone, and I was a bit hesitant about this. It took ages to come out, and originally it was going to be called Greystone, and then it was Greystone Park in the US, and then it changed, you know, when Revolver, who like to release a lot of found footage movies, they've got Closed Circuit Extreme, Amityville Haunting, they release a lot of found footage movies. I saw the cover and was like, oh okay, it looks a bit cheap. I know they're trying to sell it as a creepy ghost girl one. But actually, the reason why I thought this was one of my favourite found footage movies is purely because that the movie isn't like this. It's not like a Grave Encounters ripoff. It's a very intriguing one. It doesn't rely on too many jump scares. It has a soundtrack in it, but there's lots of hidden, subtle scares, and the atmosphere and the tension is great. And it also has a deeper story and ideas that I never thought would be present in a low-budget found footage movie. It's a serial killer thriller, Reca, a fairly decent, suspenseful found footage thriller which doesn't have too much going on. It's more built up on the story, but the action set pieces and the mystery behind it is very intriguing, very good, with some great performances and a surprise cameo from someone from The Bachelorette, and it's quite distressing and violent. Check this out. The next one is from the director of Buried. It's Apartment 143, or Emergo if you're an American, which is a fairly good found footage movie. It's like a it's another take on Paranormal Activity, showing you how it's really done, about a haunted apartment block with some great scares. It's surprisingly short. It's very creepy with a great ending, and it's a lot more raw and visceral than Paranormal Activity. However, I will admit that they could have done more with the scares. The scares are good, but I wished the movie makes you wish there was more. The next one is one of the rare Bigfoot ones, because there's more Bigfoot found footage movies coming out, but they practically all suck, especially if it's called Bigfoot County. If you've heard of that movie, stay away from that movie. It was utter, puerile garbage. The Lost Coast Tapes. This one is a surprisingly good one for a low-budget movie. They're trying to do a sequel to this. It's about a documentary crew who come across a guy who believes he's caught himself a dead Bigfoot, and, well, as you can see from the cover, and that actually does happen in the movie. It's pretty cool. It turns out to be more than they bargained for, with lots of gruesome deaths. Not much does happen in the beginning, and it's a lot of story and subtle scares, and that's actually some hidden things that you will miss on the first viewing, so this is another one that's worth another viewing. But I will say though, the movie does have a very abrupt and unexplained ending, so the idea of them doing a sequel, which they said they do want to do, I really like that idea and I really want them to do a sequel. The next one is one I promised the director I'd do a review for, and well, yeah, I don't have that review. So, this one is Skew. I really like this one. It's very good. Essentially, it's in a way like Final Destination, but found footage. In a way. The best way to sum this up is that a couple of friends go on a road trip, and the camera that this friend has brought along starts seeing hallucinations and blurring of people's faces, and then these people mysteriously die, and the tensions rise, arguments rise as the characters are put into jeopardy as certain events unfold, and it has a very good twist, a very good ending. This movie is more of a slow burner with more subtle scares, some good special effects, some good creepy visuals, I will admit to that. And if you're one that needs a fast-paced found footage movie, I wouldn't look here, but if you want a slow, story-focused, subtle scare fest, then look no further. You will really enjoy this, with some great acting and great direction. And if the director is watching this, and I know I promised this review and I didn't have time to do it, and I've been quite lazy, I do have the time now, so if you still want me to do the review to this movie, I will. I did actually film one on my iPhone to get the whole, found footage feel, but for some strange reason, it played with no sound. So yeah, don't know what happened there, but I will hopefully get a chance to review this soon. It's actually another one of my favourite found footage movies, and ones that I suggest you check out. The Tunnel. I talked about this in Found Footage Part 2 when I had a digital legal HD rip. I decided to actually go and buy this movie because it was just too good. I needed to support this by buying it. It has some really great extras as well, so if you want to know what I think of this movie, check out my Found Footage Collection Part 2, but I have now upgraded to DVD, which is pretty cool, and the artwork is pretty awesome. The next one is the very mediocre Welcome to the Jungle from the producers of Terminator and Aliens. It's a very slow burner, the characters can be quite annoying, but I will admit the cannibal scenes are pretty cool. It tries to rely on suspense, it doesn't really manage to capture it very well. It's a below average found footage movie, but for the low price I got it for, it's fine. I will say though, the special effects and makeup department are pretty good, and the ending twist it's not too bad. It makes me grin. but overall it's just not really worth its short running time, and it can be quite boring and slow in places, so I would suggest avoid it if you can, but if you're still interested in watching this movie, you may like it. The next one is a found footage documentary parody, and that is Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, about a documentary crew who document a rising serial killer's fame. And it's a mixture of, it's a parody and critique on most slasher horror movies. So if you're a fan of slasher movies and found footage, I suggest you check this out. But if you don't like slasher movies or found footage, this isn't one for you, so stay away. The next one is The Zombie Diaries, a subpar found footage one. It's quite impressive for its low budget and the effects are pretty awesome, but overall it doesn't manage to create the suspense very well. Some of the dialogue is really hokey and it has a really just abrupt ending. The sequel's worse though. It's got a bigger budget but worse actors, and just the story is absolute garbage. Now we're down to the final two, and that is Marble Hornets, the series, Season 1 and Season 2. Now this is a YouTube found footage web series documenting a college student's account with the Slenderman, or the Operator as he's known in this series. They all rely more on subtle scares. Season 2 has a more refined, finished, professional look than the first one, because they didn't have the intention of releasing these on DVD, but the extras are cool. Its first series has more subtle, creepy, long-lasting scares. This one does tend to go for the more boo moments, but it's very well-timed boo moments and has some of the best scares of the series, which furthers the story a lot more than Season 1 did. It's currently halfway through its third series, its third and final one, and it's good so far, and I won't probably do a review of it until I get Season 3 on DVD, which probably won't be until next year. But if you're a fan of found footage, if you like Slenderman mythos, if you really like found footage movies, then I suggest go and buy these for a reasonable price, considering it's from America and you can't get it anywhere else. A very good found footage series, I suggest you check out. And that is it for all my found footage movies, guys. I thank you for watching my video. I will be returning for more reviews, and there are a lot more found footage movies that are coming out. I still need to buy VHS, Grave Encounters 2. There's a couple of found footage movies that I'm really interested in looking forward to, like Spectre. I'm going to get Paranormal Activity 4, the Dial of Pass Incident, which is directed by Rennie Harling, that's a found footage movie, and also The Frankenstein Theory from the producers of The Last Exorcism. There's still many more older ones that I need to collect, and when I do get them I will put them in my found footage collection part 4. But for now, this is all of my found footage movies that I have, my update. So thank you guys for watching my video, and for now, this is Xanderfaulk saying goodbye.